You are neglecting your children. But hear me out. They're not my words, but I believe in the statement when it's in this context. On my commute this morning, I was listening to the Impact Theory podcast with Tom Bilyeu. He was interviewing Ed Mylett on the episode that was released on the 31st of May. Ed Mylett is the author of the book, The Power of One More, the ultimate guide to happiness and success. And about 9 minutes into this podcast, Ed starts telling us about a conversation that he had with a good friend of his who is struggling with parenting. I'm going to read the transcript that I wrote down on my phone. Ed's friend said, "You grew up with an alcoholic dad, so that's child neglect. And my parents got divorced. That was child neglect. But I'm not neglecting my kids." Ed said, "I think you should rethink that. There is an insidious form of neglecting your children. It is not pursuing your potential and your dreams. That's a form of neglecting your children. You're installing the software in them that it is okay to settle because they're watching you. Almost everything in life is caught, not taught. You don't teach people lessons, they catch lessons from you. So you are neglecting that child when you are not pursuing your potential, your bliss, or your dreams in your life. That's a form of neglect. So if it's neglecting a child when we do it, then it's a form of self-neglect when we do it to ourselves." Now, I almost want to read it again. It was impactful for me because it rings true to a lot of things that I believe and rings true to some of the reasons why I'm doing this YouTube channel and the podcast and trying to get information out there that just might help someone, that one little bit, who might be struggling with some parenting things or might be struggling with some things on the front of commitment and dedication and discipline. I think some of those words are just so profound. We might already know some of those things at the core of our being, like lessons are caught, not taught. That just blew my mind because it's exactly that. Your routine, the things you do, your kids are looking up to you and they're seeing you do the same things day in and day out. Why wouldn't they believe that it's important? Why wouldn't they catch that lesson off you that's important? A simple thing to you or to me, for example, a simple thing to me is going and doing my workout for the day. We have a home gym. We have created a home gym to limit the friction that it is to go and work out because we've obviously got a young family with busy lifestyles and me and my partner value working out and the value that it brings to our life. I'm just realizing that is a routine that our kids have been seeing. And Leo specifically, when he sees me working out, comes out there and he will do burpees and he'll do squats and he'll get amongst it, which is awesome. I just thought it was great. I honestly love working out with him. But this has been happening for about 1.5 years now. Like he's got his own little bar there made out of plastic pipe where he can put the same weight plates on that we use. So he puts the 2.5 kilo ones on there and then he squats with 5 kilos. It's pretty funny, but he's learning and he wants to get amongst it. So that's awesome. And it just comes back to he is following the example that we've been setting. It's just awesome hearing those words in that way because it's so true. Whether you believe it or not, your kids are looking up at you as the example, as the person that is always doing the most important thing or doing what's right. Now, you might not be, but your kids will think that you are because you're the be all and end all. So like I've talked about on the podcast, that's why we need to put you first. I need to put me first. We need to put ourselves first so that we can be the best version of ourselves, so that we can have the ability to support our family, to help them thrive and have a cohesive family unit that is just kicking goals. And it doesn't matter what the goals are. It could be the smallest thing, or in your mind, it might not be a goal at all. It could just be to be happy. But to me, that happiness, that's a goal. It's something that we want and something that we're going to be constantly working towards to make it happen. Anyway, without getting lost in this conversation, I've spoken more on this topic in the first episode of the podcast, where I introduced the podcast. It's slightly different to this YouTube channel. It's a bit longer form, and it's specifically directed towards young fathers who want to be productive, who want to succeed in both their personal life, their family life, and their work life. They want to be a good present father, and they still want to succeed in their career. There's no reason why you can't have both. It just takes a lot of work, discipline, and commitment. The link for the podcast is below in the description.